This is one of those commentaries that ticks off everyone, an equal opportunity employer one. For the past number of decades, government has been misused largely by Democrats, but Republicans as well. Now, granted, both parties have different motives, but it's been misused nonetheless. Democrats, who long ago absorbed principles of Marxist communism, have used government to destabilize society, but done it in the name of dignity and human rights, etc. Hint, by the way, child murder is not a human right, nor is it healthcare. On the other side of the aisle, corporate America growing in wealth is no guarantee that workers will profit from those increased profits. The government's role is protecting our God-given rights so that society may flourish. That said, the building block of society is not the individual, but the family. In case after case, example after example, the Communist Democrats have elevated the individual to heights and rights that are destructive to the common good. Republican policy has simply ignored the individual with an indifference that treats the individual as a cog in the economic machine. Trump is surrounding himself with a large number of advisors and official appointments that reject both of those established views, and it's not surprising that many of them are practicing Catholics. In fact, Trump won almost 60% of the Catholic vote. But what many Catholics, including those who voted for Trump, may not know is this. Catholic social teaching was hijacked decades ago by theological liberals who used it to weaken faith in the church, trying to reorient the church's mission of assisting souls to salvation to one of making a kind of heaven on earth, a Tower of Babel society, if you will, that paid God nothing more than lip service. And that was on a good day. As they gained momentum in theological circles, liberal Catholics who had gotten into politics began to note the theologian's success, and they copied it. Everything suddenly became about the individual. I'm talking about on the political scale now. Even their right to kill an unborn child, as well as break the law. It's even been raised to the level of claiming that media, for example, can do an evil, distort their reporting or fact check one side but not the other, as long as those evil actions are aimed toward a good end, saving democracy, preventing authoritarianism, blah, blah, blah. Poorly catechized Catholic politicians promote the idea that intention somehow absolves an unfortunate but sometimes necessary evil action. Remember, safe, legal, but rare? If the commies raised the individuals to heights never imagined, the other side sidelined the truth that man is made in the image and likeness of God. They ignored that man is made for community, that God himself is a community, a triune community, a community in unity and a unity in community. Man, in their policy approach, became an isolated being, cut off from all necessary ties and reduced to his porn habit in the basement and his fentanyl in the bathroom. Neither of these approaches to the dignity of man, expressed in community, is ethical. The commies engage in it to degrade man so that their agenda of globalism can be triumphant. The Republicans push their policies so they can be used as a tool for profit. If he happens to have a decent family and so forth in the middle-class suburbs, that's okay, but that's not the goal. All of this has to change and change immediately. Babies are not something to be terrified of. Emotional illness is not something to be mocked. God's truth for man is not some byproduct of the patriarchy. Catholic social teaching cannot be allowed to be perverted by some liberation theology misreading or an overemphasis on pure capitalism as a good in and of itself. Almighty God desires, wills a good outcome for man, and man, even governments, must rule themselves and as individuals themselves accordingly, or the societies they rule will end, and when the next government stands over our grave, they're not going to care if we died from greed or an evil ideology. Right, today we're going to go take a look at the election integrity issue and where that all stands right now, because it's still going on. The question of requiring voter ID, paper ballots, manual counts, same-day voting, relitigating 2020, questions of justice, as well as deterrence, and all of it is bound up in this.